Every season 'tis the season for many of us to order out for Chinese food. But what do we know about what goes into this popular cuisine? NPR's Allison Aubrey wants to set a few things straight.
Americans love Chinese food. At one point on election night in 2020, Google searches to find some outnumbered searches for who had won the presidency. But you'll still see these signs around. In restaurant windows, menus, on food packages. Have you ever wondered why? Back in 1968, the New England Journal of Medicine published a letter written by a doctor titled Chinese Restaurant Syndrome. The doctor described feeling sick after eating a meal at a Chinese restaurant.
The physician exhibited some unusual symptoms leaving that restaurant: the headache, palpitations, nervousness, dizziness.
Tom Sherman is a biochemist and nutrition expert at Georgetown University. He says that letter sparked decades of research and confusion over MSG, even an entry in the dictionary. But the upshot today?
The evidence is complete. Data in multiple studies, conducted multiple different ways with human subjects, has never found any evidence for toxicity of MSG. And people get sucked into believing, because I ate this and this happened, it was what I ate. And that's frequently not the case.
MSG is basically a concentrated form of glutamate. It has about 1/3 of the sodium found in table salt. It occurs naturally in many foods, from cheese and tomatoes to corn.
I don't want to pretend like it's good to eat MSG, but it certainly isn't bad.
Researchers say some people may be sensitive to MSG, but health authorities from the FDA to the World Health Organization have deemed MSG safe in the amounts it's found in food. MSG is used all over the globe. Americans eat, on average, about a 0.5 gram of MSG per day. It's found in everything from fast foods to snacks to canned soups. But the term Chinese restaurant syndrome has marinated long enough in the U.S. that it's left a sour note to Chinese American chefs like Chris Chong. He runs the East Wind snack shop chain in Brooklyn, New York.
I openly admit that I use it in my food, and I have no problems with it.
Would you consider it an ingredient that adds flavor?
That's exactly what it is. It's no different than salt and pepper, and it just adds a depth of savoriness to food.
Chung says the lingering stigma against MSG may have more to do with xenophobic views than with food science.
I've worked in Japanese kitchens, I've worked in Thai kitchens, a lot of kitchens that weren't Chinese, and they all use MSG to some extent. But I've only heard in the Chinese environment the request for no MSG. They said, don't put MSG in the food. I know you guys use it in China, but you live in America now.
There's not Italian restaurant syndrome or Mexican restaurant syndrome.
That's Tia Raines, Senior Director of Public Relations for Ajinomoto, one of the leading makers of MSG.
First of all, MSG is delicious.
The company led a successful campaign to have Merriam-Webster update the term Chinese restaurant syndrome as dated and offensive.
I present.
And another campaign took aim at the phrase, no MSG. For one thing, MSG was not discovered in Chinese restaurants. It was a Japanese chemist, Kikunai Ikeda, co-founder of Ajinomoto, who first extracted MSG from seaweed over 100 years ago. Today in the U.S., Ajinomoto extracts glutamate from corn, and the flavoring is produced at this factory in Iowa. For Tia Raines, MSG's reputation can still be tough to swallow.
We are trying to bring these facts forward at this time so that people aren't afraid when they see monosodium glutamate on a food label, or they're not afraid to have it in their kitchen and use it in their cooking.
Here's your big finisher for the MSG.
And let people taste for themselves is the takeaway for Chris Chung, too.
That's it.
One takeout at a time.
If you give it a try, it's not really going to have those effects that everybody says it will.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
Yum.
I'm just here to tell you, if you choose to believe me, what lies ahead of you is some really, really great meals. You know?